Welcome to Adventures in Real Estate. Darwin German has been an active real estate investor for over 30 years. He has bought, sold, managed, and owned over $400 million of real estate that includes homes, office, commercial, industrial, development, and apartments. He brings to you stories and interviews with partners and professionals to teach and educate you through actual real-life experiences. This is Adventures in Real Estate.
Hello and welcome to another podcast of Adventures in Real Estate. We've got a very special guest here. We've got Edwin Sosa and his daughter Jessica, who Jessica really runs the office, and everybody loves her. But Edwin has a great story. Now, Edwin is our contractor extraordinaire. He does most of the work on our properties and gives us great prices, great construction, great follow-up, and just does an overall great job, which is why we give him so much of our business. And not only that, what I like is Edwin owns the company and he's the guy that works on my properties. He's the one that oversees everything, and he's the one that says, hey, if it's wrong, I'll fix it. So, Edwin, welcome.
Thank you, Darwin, for having us here. We're really enjoying doing this with you and talk about what we do on the daily operations in our company. One of the first things that we do, especially for Darwin, is that we go in and do what's called due diligence. First part of the equation, when he's looking at a property, he calls me up and says, how much is for this? How much is for that? So we're kind of have to be on our hands and toes waiting for Darwin's call to ask me about materials and how much are, certain things going for right now, especially knowing that, construction products go up pretty much every day just because the demand and the needs are there. So, but one of the first things we do for Darwin is we'll either drive through a property or walk through a property without being unknown and kind of put our thoughts together and what it would take to,
One thing that constantly amazes me is you've been here in Dallas doing this so long for a couple of different companies that anytime I talk about a property, you say, oh yeah, you know the history of all the properties and what it is. How long have you been working here in DFW then?
32 years.
32, and you were with
I was with Greystar for about 20 years. Doing a lot of the takeovers and due diligence for that company. As you guys know, Greystar is one of the largest management companies in the DFW and now in the United States. So we did pretty much unit walks and property inspections for that company for so long. And not only in the Dallas DFW area, but all throughout the U.S., pretty much as the company was growing. We were growing with it, not only on age, but also in experience. So yeah, it was a fun ride with that company. And in 2009, I decided to part off and started my own construction company.
Did you do work for Greystar then?
I did. That was my first customer. Knowing that people that I met there trusted me 100%. They gave me a lot of work at the beginning. And as you guys know, they turn around and sell the properties eventually. So they kind of go away. And then when they want to come back, they call me up and said, I'm ready for some more. Can you guys help me out on the due diligence part? So we'll go in with them and do the same thing we do for Darwin.
Perfect. Let me switch over here to Jessica real quick because I don't have a lot of interaction with Jessica, mainly with Edwin. However, my team, they're always saying Jessica is the perfect person to deal with. She is always great, and she'll fill in any of the holes that Edwin leaves open. So what do you do for the company?
I do all the office work. I am kind of like you said, I fill in all the holes for him. So anything that I see that I can step in and try to complete or just put my 2 cents in, I'll just step in. But mainly I run the office. We have 2 office assistants, and I handle most of the accounting, the money that comes in, the money that comes out, the payroll, and any large project invoices, any CapEx invoices. I do that. And then, anywhere that I see I can step in and make something easier, then I'll just step in there too.
So actually, I should talk to you about discounts then, right?
Oh, I'm actually worse than him on discounts.
Women are so much tougher in this business than men are. They absolutely are.
So you might want to keep going though.
Keep going over him.
I'm a lot flexible when it comes down to discounts.
I know. Well, you know the whole relationship there. How much in work do you do for us every year?
We'll probably do between $7 and $10 million worth of work.
Every year for us?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. How many people do you have working with you?
Total on our staff, there's 7, and then we sub everything else out. You know, we work with good quality of subcontractors in the DFW. They've been following me for the last 17 years. You know, so they stay with me because, you know, we keep them busy all the time.
Well, how many subs do you have like that then?
We probably have around
60, I would say.
About 60 people?
Yeah,
Give
60
or take, 'cause
people, give or
come in
take.
and out.
Now, I'm going to throw this in there. Now, are the majority of them Guatemalan?
No, actually, we have a variety of people that we use throughout. We have people from all over.
Well, it just seems that everybody, you treat everybody like family members. So that's one of the things that I notice with you and all your subs. It's a big family is what it is. And
it is. There's a lot of respect involved. I think you treat people as you want to be treated, you know, and we respect everybody the same. Even if they just, you know, do groundskeeper job, we'll still respect them as a major, you know, quality carpenter. We respect everybody the same, you know, and they'll do anything for you when you treat them right.
Yeah, and you do treat everybody right. That is one of the things that I like about working with you. You know what? The behind the scenes part of the story that I want to hear is I think you have an incredible story. Where'd you grow up?
In Guatemala.
Grew up in Guatemala?
Yes.
Okay. And how'd you end up here?
I did it just like everybody else does. Immigrated to this country, swimming the river. You know, I'm actually proud of saying that just because, you know.
Well, there's a whole lot more story to that. You've shared a whole lot more.
Well,
how old were you when you left home?
I was 16 years old. I immigrated to this country through Mexico, just like everybody else.
And how did you do that from Guatemala?
I actually walk.
You walked from Guatemala.
My parents were so poor, you know, that we didn't have a way to pay for any of the long journey that was waiting for me ahead. And so I kind of just took it day by day and left walking, you know, and caught a ride once in a while, but very seldom I caught a ride. And most of the time I was just walking.
From Guatemala to DFW, is that where you walked to?
Yes, I actually got to the border. It took me about 6.5 months to get to the border. And then on the border, I spent about 3 months just walking up and down the river, you know, just kind of getting to know everything and meeting people and getting fed by people. And, you know, and God, you know, God was there with me the whole time because as a little kid, you just don't know what to find, you know, what to approach. But as I say, you know, God was with me the whole way coming over here. I've never ran into a problem with anybody. I slept, you know, under bushes. I slept under empty buildings, you know, and
so you're 16 years old and you're walking from Guatemala. Did you know which way to go? I mean, 16 years old, I could barely drive to the grocery store. I much less walk to.
You know, you ask questions, you know, as you go. As I was getting to town, I was just asking, you know, which way do I go north? Which way do I go north?
You just knew north.
Yeah, that's the main question everybody asks. Which way is north?
What did your parents think about that?
They were very scared about me leaving, you know, our house at such a young age. We have never experimented anything like that. I was the first one in my family. Out of 4 sons, I was the oldest. And, you know, we have a thing that in our family, as you grow, you take a huge responsibility with you as to help the rest of the family, So I was the first one to go and start adventuring, and luckily I got, fortunate enough to make it and be able to work hard and learn, how this country works and respect this country. As, I become a U.S. citizen, you respect it even more because you get to know what the culture is about, what the laws are about. And everything here is just, respect each other, and treat everybody equal and just keep on going. Just work as hard as you can.
Yeah, I'm still hung up on the fact that 16. I'm sorry, going back to this because I'm just envisioning this. Okay, my kid's 16, and they're going to decide they're going to walk from here to Guatemala. Just making something up here. Do you get them a new pair of shoes and a sack lunch? I mean, how do you?
Keep in mind that back in the day, things were not as bad as they are now in the world. Back in the day, it was a lot safe to be able to sleep on this, on the street or sidewalk. It was people were just a lot nicer. The criminal world was not as bad as it is now. Especially in certain part of our Latin countries, but. Back in the day, everybody was friendly. Everybody will give you a plate of food or taco, if you don't mind me saying that. But
why would I mind you saying
people
that?
People will bring their hand to you and say, "Look, what can you do?" And I'll be like, "Look, I grew up, as a 16 years old. I didn't have much growing up, but working on the mechanical field of cars and things like that. So people will give me a chance to fix their car." And make a little bit of money and continue my trip. That's how I kind of worked my way up all the way down to the valley, to Brownsville.
Brownsville, yeah. Get through there. And it's an amazing story that you came from there and have such a successful company now. And I would imagine you give back some too for that, right?
I do. We're a big part of not only back home but also here. We work with multiple churches to where they call me up and say somebody needs help on fixing their house. We'll go in and donate our time and materials, and we help a whole bunch of people by fixing their houses, replacing rotten wood and rotten floors, and windows are leaking. We'll go in and take care of that. We went all the way down to Stillwater, Texas, to Weatherford, Fort Worth, Arlington. We're also
you also do stuff down in Guatemala too, correct?
We do. We donate a lot of wheelchairs and walkers, and we help. Glasses and reading glasses, and we also feed the elderly over there as every day. As we take that.
Do you have a charity or something you do that through? Or
no, we just do it out of, our kindness of our heart. We know what the needs are over there, and we try to stay pretty active with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Jessica, do you go down and do that too?
I have, yes. I know one year for Christmas, we usually take toys and stuff for kids and stuff, but I don't go as often as he does down there.
Well, still, it's a great thing to do, to go ahead and give back to, just like you said, taking care of family, friends, all the people that supported you to help come all this way and do this. Now, on the construction side, like I said, you do a whole lot of work for us, and we just had a property hit by a tornado. And one of the first calls is usually to you, correct?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because we jump the hoops. We know that the needs are there, especially on such a major emergency like that one. There was 14 families without their home, pretty much, and so we don't just see the needs of the materialistic stuff, but we also see the needs of families that need our help as and as far as make sure they're safe and they have a place to sleep. Not only because they have little kids, and we put priority into such a major emergencies like that. So yeah, we also had another one in Longview, Texas, that we had 9 families like that too, and we jumped the hoops for them as well. I got the call at 9:00 at night, and as you guys know, Longview is about 2 hours away from here. We drove all the way over there till midnight and got everybody safe and helped everybody that we could, and got the buildings, covered up for future damages.
Okay. Question for you. This is a completely separate thing, completely random. Do you need more business? Do you want more business?
Sure. I mean, we can always use.
I want you to do something for me.
Yes.
I want you to record yourself a commercial. Okay. You're going to advertise your company right here, and you're going to say something as an advertisement. Now, let's just pretend that this is going to be a radio spot that's going to go all over DFW.
Okay.
Let's hear your radio spot.
All right. My name is Edwin Sosa. I'm with Legacy Contractors. As you guys know, we specialize in construction. We do all aspects of rehabs. If you want to have a value add apartment complex, bring you the most for rentals and future sales, give us a call. 972
Keep going.
974-8100. That's our cell phone number, and our office number is 972-381-8300. In case you need anything done at your house, construction-wise, give us a call.
Okay. What did you think of that ad, Jessica?
Perfect.
You think it's perfect?
Yes.
It is?
Yes. Yes.
You don't think you could do any better?
No.
No.
No, I do not.
You do not?
No, that was perfect.
See, I like Edwin. I talk to him all the time. This is the lowest energy. I don't know what it is about sitting in front of a microphone that everybody just goes way down and talks like this. See, you get on a property, you're going bam, 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 bam. You got stuff going everywhere. You're directing everybody to go everywhere. You've got 50 people out on site, and I don't hear, okay, guys, now you go do this.
Yeah. I think as you... This was planned. A lot of times when our line of duty is our jobs, we just kind of have that natural instinct of overreacting and getting things done. This particular case is planned. So as much as you want to prepare for it, you don't prepare for it.
No, it's just a conversation.
I understand that. But not a lot of times plan on having a conversation with you on a Monday morning.
No, sometimes it's at midnight when there's a storm. It could be any time.
Yeah, that's true. But no, we love doing what we're doing, and we really appreciate the opportunity and working with you.
What's your favorite job you've done for me so far?
Favorite job, I will say Amber Vista.
Amber, and why is that your favorite? Why do you love Amber Vista?
That was a challenge. That was a challenge dealing with the 1970s product. There's no telling what you're going to find in there. And we found things that were done back in the day that is completely different from now. And, we like that. We like that challenge. We like the fact that we're able to see what was done before and what it could be done now differently. That it makes our lives a lot easier as far as construction-wise goes. But, with that property in particular, it's been a great project. We've learned a lot more from, plumbing being run differently, electrical being run differently,
Well, give me some examples. Okay, so first off, what is our interior budget on that property? How much were we spending on each unit?
It's about $17,000 a unit.
It's 17. That's a lot of money to rehab a unit, correct?
It is. It is. The majority of those units are, over 1,000 square foot of units.
Well, what all were we doing for $17,000?
We're coming in and pretty much got into the studs, every single unit. We're coming in there, replumbing, rewiring for electrical, finding sewage line being busted. And then from just age in general, they're pretty old buildings that require a lot of work. So we go in and demo the unit and see what we need to rebuild back. And we do that. And then we go back and put the unit back together with all new cabinets, washer and dryer connections, all new doors, all new, sheetrock texture, lighting kit, plumbing, appliances, new granite backsplashes. You're talking about a brand new apartment now.
When you take it down to the studs, yes, everything is new.
After it's all said and done, it's a pretty nice looking unit.
Now, when you first bid that, were there any changes that came up as far as anything that you didn't know about up front when you gave your bid?
Well, our experience helps a lot to, I really like the fact that I have experience not only on the management part of it, but also on the construction part of it. And it helps a lot because there's nothing that becomes more of a worst nightmare for not only as an owner or a management company, but for a contractor to come in there and hit you with a change order every chance he gets. We try to nail things down at the beginning and not have that, impact later on in the project. Come back and hit you guys with change orders. Our relationship with you and all our customers is based on trust. And that's one of the things that we take very good pride of. And just go in there and things come up, we'll fix them and move on.
Yeah, because I know on that property, for example, the plumbing lines were run very uniquely.
Yeah.
So that caused a whole lot more problems. And I know we didn't get a change order for that. And that was something you had to just figure out how to work into the budget, correct?
Yes, that's right. And we knew that's what I was saying. Our experience helps a lot, knowing that the age of the property, what we're going to be able to find out. And, we'll just find a solution for it, fix it, and move on. We like doing what we do, and we take pride in what we do. And when we have a good customer like you, we like to take care of them.
No, I certainly appreciate that. I know that our investors love everything you do for us. And let's see so at Amber Vista, we spent about $17,000 a door fixing that up. And how much involvement did you have on the design of what we put in there?
I would say 75%. It's pretty much what, there's a lot of involvement on our part, especially me, since I've done all these throughout the Metroplex. You learn so much. Every deal is a little different. Every deal you learn more and more for your own benefit to use it when you find a place like Amber Vista. You come in there learning from previous projects and, put it in place at that property where we think it's necessary to do. And I was pretty involved with the redesigning of the units over there. Not only on the exterior part of it, but also on the interior.
Well, I like that you came up with additional ideas to dress it up for a very low cost to make a dramatic difference. Adding the pillars, changing some of the design out that gave it a great look. But because you knew the costs of everything, then you can go ahead and put in there and say, hey, doing this, here's an idea to go ahead and do. And it'll only cost you this amount. And we can look at that and say, that's a great idea. Let's add that in. And Amber Vista, extremely successful deal. We spent $17,000 per unit fixing that up. That's on the interior, plus another $8 on the exterior. $25,000 a door was a huge rehab, but it's in Plano, Texas. And something that I found amazing is this property is less than a mile from downtown Plano. And we thought we were going to fix this property up and start drawing residents from the downtown Plano area, because it's within walking distance right down to it, and changing the whole demographic. Well, we would fix a unit up, and somebody else that lived there would like it so much that they agreed to raise their rents from $900 to $1,200 just so they could stay in the community in the nicer property. So that whole project was a success because here they are moving from one unit to the new unit, volunteering to pay $300 more a month in rent, $3,600 a year, which adds $3,600 times 36,000 adds roughly $40,000 per unit to the property because of that rental increase that we spent $17,000 on. And a lot of that is because of the stylings and the construction that you did. So I'm real happy with everything you do.
Yeah, those units were very unique. And people there, they were living at that place at that time. They haven't been through an extreme makeover as how we were out there doing it. And when they saw their old unit and they came in and walked the new units, they were like, where will we sign? We're not moving. We like this place so much that our families, our kids are, grow up here, going to school, and we like to stay here. And where do we need to sign? Move right in. And they loved it. I mean, the units were very, unique as their floor plans become with, all new stuff pretty much. They felt like they were in a new house.
Yeah, and we even did some extra fun stuff there. We've got a washer-dryer combination unit that's an under cabinet in the kitchen. Huge kitchens.
Yeah, they're ventless dryer. Washer and dryer 110. As mostly that dryers are usually 220 volts, so they pull a lot of.
Pause for a second. Okay, and what is the big benefit to me, or to people that are listening, saying, okay, they're 110 versus 220. Who cares? What's the big deal? So what is the big deal?
It is a big deal because you're not drawing 220 volts out of your electricity now. You're cutting back in half of that, and they're rated 5-star rating as far as saving you energy, and also ventless. So you don't have to run a ductwork for a ventless washer and dryer. Combo.
So a few things on that. We don't have to run ductwork.
Exactly.
We don't have to run 220 electricity to it. It's all bills paid, so we're not paying for that extra electricity.
Exactly.
There's no way, if we were trying to add washer-dryer connections that had 220 and vents and things like that, it would have cost us a whole lot more, whereas this is just a plug-in unit, just like plugging in a dishwasher.
Pretty much, yeah.
And in doing that, we add a great amenity that people love that's not costing us any more money. For the money we saved on the electrical and the venting, we could easily pay for the machine to provide to everybody there.
Exactly. Pretty much. And not only that, it takes no space whatsoever. You're not getting rid of a closet to where you're going to put a side-by-side. And now you're, limiting yourself for more closet space. It goes right under, the counter space under the kitchen or a bathroom. It fits right in, and it looks good. It looks like another dishwasher.
Well, you're not going to have a family of 5 trying to use that, but it's good for what it is.
Well, it's not a commercial rating washer and dryer. It's as a typical washer and dryer that's used for household small items and things like that. Which that's what we usually do anyway.
Were there any other design elements in there that you particularly liked that was unique or something that other people are not doing?
We took the kitchen, we opened up a wall, expose a bar, have more of a concept open kitchen. Also, we, created a pantry inside of those kitchens, which they didn't have one before. So being able to take a lot of those walls off, we were able to redesign it and come up with the mostly needing, which is a washer and dryer connection and a pantry and an open, concept kitchen.
Yeah,
which gives you an island and a bar, and they just look spectacular.
They absolutely do, and that's a huge success. We're 100% occupied on that and cash flowing great and getting ready to refinance that deal. And so that's a huge thank you to our construction team, which Edwin is running there. And let's see here. What else can you tell us that people wouldn't know, wouldn't really realize you do, or value that you add by you coming in there and working on their property?
Well, most people can buy apartment complexes, but if you don't know how to do your due diligence accordingly, you will end up on, spending a lot more than what you thought you would. So the key here is that doing due diligence from day one, as you think about looking at a deal, we will be a huge help to you as far as coming in and helping you to do due diligence, just like we help you look at every angle of the apartments and, come in there and look at the foundation issues. Most people don't think buildings here have a lot of foundations, which they're wrong. In Texas, everything has foundation issues. The soil is so weak here, it moves by, blink of an eye. So with that being said, it gives you a lot of foundation issues. And foundation issues are not just repairing foundations. You also have to go in there, and if your property is built off, brick exterior walls, your brick is going to give up. So now you got brick expenses to tack point in the brick. In a lot of cases, take down the whole wall and replace all your brick tights and install your brick back. And as you guys know, most of the times you're not allowed to match that brick. So whoever does your brick work have to be really good at what they need to do to be able to save you on having to go with a different color of brick. Because as you guys know, brick is also discontinued at such a short period of time. And so a lot of times you have stucco exterior walls, and stucco also cracks when you have foundation issues. So now you end up, spending a lot more money on stucco repairs. Not like I said, it's not just foundation issues. There's a lot more in relation with that. And it's
such as plumbing?
Such as plumbing, too. This is another first thing that gives up. And when you have a major foundation movement, plumbing and electrical, they're usually put in the walls pretty tight. So anytime you have any type of movement, those are the first three things are going to give up: plumbing, electrical, and exterior exposure of your walls.
Yeah, and the big thing also on that plumbing side is if you have foundation movement and it breaks or separates any of those sewage lines, now you've got water that's running in there that's going to leak, that's going to cause erosion or going to cause the soil to expand or anything else that's going to make the problems worse. And in just driving through and looking at a property, you can't see those underground problems that just will cost you a fortune. So you have to have the line scoped and looked at. Now, on the due diligence side, which we are doing due diligence tomorrow, what all things do you look at? How do you look at that?
We looked at, like I said, we look at 4 angles of your building. We looked at every corner of your building. We looked at the interiors to make sure there's not doors being, not closing properly, cracks on the sheetrock, cracks on the exterior. We looked at the roofs, make sure you have proper shingles are not being damaged, especially with all these storms what we get in Texas. We looked at the erosion problems because water could be a huge factor of drainage problems. So we looked at that too. And then we looked at, what could you do different to be able to bring this, C deal to a B- and make it a value add. We give you a lot of ideas as far as, doing things differently.
What else think after that? Yeah. Our relatives, like our parents.
I cannot believe people get in here and they all of a sudden they're talking all quiet. You should have saw Jeremy in here. Hi, I'm Jeremy.
Oh, really? And Jeremy talks a lot.
Jeremy talks a lot and he's so animated, but in here he was just like this.
Nerve-wracking.
Like all you're doing is talking.
Yeah.
You're always louder than that.
I tried to be, especially when I got 100 miles an hour going.
You don't sound like it.
Not today.
It's just me.
Monday.
All we're doing is having a discussion. That's it.
No,
Just like anything. Pretend like we're in the truck.
I know.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. You're talking to me in the truck. That's what it is. And you're yelling. Not yelling, but you're a little more animated, right?
That's right.
What's your middle name?
Stuart.
Stuart.
Yeah, Stuardo.
Stuardo.
Stuart. Yeah.
Stuardo.
Yeah.
How come I've seen Edwin Edwun? I saw that somewhere.
I don't know. People misspell it all
Right.
the time. It's Edwin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuardo.
Stuart.
Stuardo.
Edwin Stewart. Sounds a lot better.
Edwin Stewart. Yeah, it's a gringo name.
That's right.
Trying to be a gringo.
I am a gringo. It took me a long time to become one, but I am.
Okay, good.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, good. This is really cheesy, just so you know. And by the way, he can cut out things that we don't like. So if you say something you don't like, just say, wait a minute, cut that part out, and then just keep on going.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, so you can say any of that. All right, thank you. See, that was sucked. Hello and welcome to another podcast of Adventures in Real Estate. We've got a very special guest here. We've got Edwin Sosa and his daughter Jessica, who Jessica really runs the office, and everybody loves her. But Edwin has a great story. Now, Edwin is our contractor extraordinaire. He does most of the work on our properties and gives us great prices, great construction, great follow-up, and just does an overall great job, which is why we give him so much of our business. And not only that, what I like is Edwin owns the company and he's the guy that works on my properties. He's the one that oversees everything, and he's the one that says, hey, if it's wrong, I'll fix it. So, Edwin, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Darwin, for having us here. We're really enjoying doing this with you and talk about what we do on the daily operations in our company. One of the first things that we do, especially for Darwin, is that we go in and do what's called due diligence. First part of the equation, when he's looking at a property, he calls me up and says, how much is for this? How much is for that? So we're kind of have to be on our hands and toes waiting for Darwin's call to ask me about materials and how much are certain things going for right now, especially knowing that construction products go up pretty much every day just because the demand and the needs are there. So but one of the first things we do for Darwin is we'll either drive through a property or walk through a property without being unknown and kind of put our thoughts together and what it will take to
Paul, I think one thing that constantly amazes me is you've been here in Dallas doing this so long for a couple of different companies that anytime I talk about a property, you say, oh yeah, you know the history of all the properties and what it is. How long have you been working here in DFW then?
32 years.
32. And you were with what companies?
I was with Graystar for about 20 years, doing a lot of the takeovers and due diligence for that company. As you guys know, Graystar is one of the largest management companies in the DFW and now in the United States. So we did pretty much unit walks and property inspections for that company for so long. And not only in the Dallas DFW area, but all throughout the U.S. Pretty much as the company was growing, we were growing with it, not only on age, but also in experience. So yeah, it was a fun ride with that company. And in 2009, I decided to part off and started my own construction company.
Did you do work for Graystar then?
I did. He was actually, that was my first customer. Knowing that people that I met there trusted me 100%. They gave me a lot of work at the beginning. And as you guys know, they turn around and sell the properties eventually. So they kind of go away. And when they want to come back, they call me up and said, I'm ready for some more. can you guys help me out on the due diligence part? So we'll go in with them and do the same thing we do for Darwin.
Perfect. Let me switch over here to Jessica real quick, because I don't have a lot of interaction with Jessica, mainly with Edwin. However, my team, they're always saying Jessica is the perfect person to deal with. She is always great, and she'll fill in any of the holes that Edwin leaves open. So what do you do for the company?
I do all the office work. I am kind of like you said, I fill in all the holes for him. So anything that I see that I can step in and try to complete or just put my 2 cents in, I'll just step in. But mainly I run the office. We have 2 office assistants, and I handle most of the accounting, the money that comes in, the money that comes out, the payroll, and any large project invoices, any CapEx invoices. I do that. And then, anywhere that I see I can step in and make something easier, then I'll just step in there.
So actually, I should talk to you about discounts then, right?
Oh, I'm actually worse than him on discounts.
Women are so much tougher in this business than men are. They absolutely are.
So you might want to keep going.
Keep going over to him.
I'm a lot flexible when it comes down to discount.
I know. Well, you know the whole relationship there. How much in work do you do for us every year?
We'll probably do between $7 and $10 million worth of work.
Every year for us?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. How many people do you have working with you?
Total on our staff, there's 7, and then we sub everything else out. We work with good quality of subcontractors in the DFW. They've been following me for the last 17 years. So they stay with me because, we keep them busy all the time.
Then, well, how many subs do you have like that then?
We probably have
The worst property I ever seen was back in 1998 when Fannie Mae foreclosed on the property. And like you said, there was drug deals going on, prostitution, bed bug problem, infestated with roaches. We had to bring about 20 police officers over there to clean it all up. One of my guys doing a make ready, the drug dealer thought that the guy that did him wrong was still living in there. So he went in and tried to bomb that apartment up, blow the apartment up, and my guy was right in it. So they were shooting at him. They tried to catch the apartment on fire. They ran their car into the front door. It was just a bad property, and it was located right there off of Webb Chapel. Wow. Yeah. So Fannie Mae gave us the support we needed. So we brought in 20 police officers, got it all cleaned up. It took about 6 months, but got everybody bad out of there. We were able to clean up the property and fix it all
Grew up in Guatemala? Okay. And how'd you end up here?
I did it just like everybody else does. Immigrated to this country, swimming the river. I'm actually proud of saying that just because,
Well, there's a whole lot more story to that. You've shared a whole lot more. How old were you when you left home?
I was 16 years old. I immigrated to this country through Mexico just like everybody else.
And how did you do that from Guatemala?
Yeah, I actually walked.
You walked from Guatemala.
My parents were so poor, that we didn't have a way to pay for any of the long journey that was waiting for me ahead.
Well, back in the day when I was with Greystar didn't have a foreclosure division to where he could have, somebody that will go out there and walk all these properties being repossessed by the government and bad loans. And so they closed up, they foreclosed on that property in Denver, and Fannie Mae was very anxious for Greystar to take it over, but they didn't have anybody in that division. So they actually opened up their own division on the foreclosure department, and that was me leading that team. And I was under, a speed dial of Fannie Mae. When they had a foreclosure, they will be asking for me and me only to go out there and walk their property and and make sure things are being taken care of. As you know, they're big on having an eye for certain things, and one of their main things is liability. They don't want to have any type of liability in their hands, and I think nobody should. And that's one of the things that people don't see sometimes, that needs of liability on their properties, needing to be taken care of pretty quickly. And so we have an eye for things like that, So, but I'm glad to, be part of your team and keeping working with you and enjoying this relationship and trust that I've developed throughout the years working with you and your team.
Okay, great. Jessica, anything else to add?
No, I think he said it all.
I think you said it all.
Yeah, we're very thankful for the opportunity to come out. And I know we're both very passionate about what we do, so we love talking about it. So any opportunity to do that, we're there and we're thankful.
Exactly. I know you're proud of your dad. I know he's proud of you. So, and we're happy you're there because, you running all the behind the scenes stuff really takes care of us real well. And again, this is Legacy Addison Contractors. And their phone number, one more time.
972-381-8300.
And they do most of our construction and have for a long period of time. And our investors certainly appreciate all the good work you do and jumping right on problems and things like that. And thank you so much for everything you do for us. We wish you the best of luck. And again, I love hearing your story, and I know there's a whole lot more details. Someday we'll write a book about your travels from Guatemala to be a successful entrepreneur here. And thank you so much for joining us.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Adventures in Real Estate. Please share this information with family and friends so that they too can benefit and learn from Darwin German's experiences. If you are interested in learning more or even becoming a partner or investor with Darwin German, please go to darwingerman.com. Follow your dreams and invest in real estate.